Greek art and symbolism refer to the myriad ways in which the ancient Greeks used visual motifs, imagery, and allegorical representations to convey complex ideas, beliefs, and values. This art, created between roughly 900 and 31 BC, spans various forms, including sculptures, pottery, and architecture, each laden with symbolic meanings that offer insights into the Greek understanding of the world. At its core, Greek art is both a reflection and a narrative of the cultural, religious, and philosophical fabric of Greek society. It serves as a window into the ancient mindset, illuminating how the Greeks conceptualized the divine, the heroic, the natural world, and the human condition. The significance of understanding Greek art and symbolism is profound. It not only provides historical insights but also enhances our comprehension of the origin of many cultural and aesthetic principles that influence modern art and philosophy. The symbolism in Greek art laid the foundation for Western artistic expression and narrative forms. For example, the depiction of gods and heroes like Zeus or Hercules was not mere decoration. These figures embody ideals like power and resilience, shaping behavioral ideals that persisted through the ages. One poignant example of Greek symbolism is the use of the owl in pottery and coins, representing wisdom and associated with Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war. Another example is the portrayal of the laurel wreath, often seen in sculptures and frescoes, symbolizing victory and honor, stemming from Apollo's wreath, a motif later adopted by the Romans and used in various civic ceremonies to denote triumph. However, interpretations of Greek symbolism can generate differing opinions. Some scholars argue that these symbols reflect a societal structure that privileges certain narratives, potentially silencing alternative voices within Greek culture. There is also the risk of viewing these symbols through modern lenses, which might lead to misinterpretations or oversimplifications of their original meanings. Despite potential controversies, the interpretation of Greek symbols is essential for understanding Greek art as a whole. The interplay of symbols can reveal broader cultural narratives and philosophical ideas, such as the concept of kaloka, the ideal of the beautiful and the good, demonstrating the Greek desire to harmonize moral virtue with physical beauty. This point connects deeply with other facets of Greek art, such as the use of proportion and balance, showing the pervasive influence of symbolic representation on artistic expression. By decoding these symbols, we gain a comprehensive understanding of Greek art and its enduring legacy in shaping Western thought and aesthetics. In decoding the symbols of Greek art, understanding the historical context and cultural influences is paramount. This involves examining the socio-political, religious, and philosophical environments that existed during the time these artworks were created. Greek art was profoundly shaped by the values and beliefs of ancient Greek society, reflecting themes such as mythology, humanism, and democracy, which were central to their worldview. The historical context gives us insight into why these symbols were used and what they represented in their original time and place. The significance of historical context in Greek art cannot be overstated. Greek artists were not working in isolation. Their creations were deeply intertwined with the cultural and historical tides of the time. Identifying the historical backdrop allows us to comprehend the broader narrative depicted through art, one that speaks of gods, heroes, daily life, and even politics. For instance, the depiction of gods and mythological events in Greek art often symbolized human traits and societal ideals, rendering them relatable to the Greek populace while simultaneously reaffirming cultural identity and values. One compelling example is the Parthenon sculptures, which embody both artistic mastery and religious devotion. These sculptures reflect the Athenian admiration for their goddess Athena, illustrating her mythological power in shaping human destiny. Another example is the red figure pottery that often depicted scenes from Greek mythology or everyday life, capturing the essence of the human experience while conveying moral and philosophical lessons. These artworks serve as both aesthetic achievements and mediums through which historical and cultural insights can be gleaned. Supporters of this contextual approach argue that without understanding the historical and cultural influences, interpreting Greek art remains superficial. They advocate studying the political history, religious beliefs, and social customs of the time to truly appreciate the depth of these symbols. However, challenges arise when considering the biases present at the time, such as the exclusion of certain societal groups from the artistic narrative, which can lead to an incomplete picture of Greek society. Furthermore, debates about ownership and interpretation also persist, especially as Greek artifacts fill museums worldwide, sparking discussions on cultural heritage and repatriation. Despite these challenges, the historical context connects to other aspects of decoding symbols in Greek art by providing a foundation from which interpretations can grow, revealing layers of meaning and offering new perspectives on ancient Greek civilization. Through this lens, Greek art continues to resonate and inspire, acting as a bridge between the ancient past and the present day, enriching our understanding of cultural development and human expression. The heading Common Symbols and Their Meanings, in the context of decoding the symbols of Greek art, refers to the interpretation of frequently occurring motifs and icons in ancient Greek art that convey deeper cultural, religious, and philosophical meanings. This concept is vital for understanding Greek art because these symbols often served as a visual shorthand for complex ideas and values central to Greek society. Through this exploration, one gains insight into the mindset and worldview of ancient Greeks, enriching our appreciation of their artistic achievements. A quintessential example is the laurel wreath, traditionally associated with victory and honor. In Greek art, it's often depicted adorning the heads of Olympic victors, poets, and gods like Apollo. The laurel wreath symbolizes achievement and divine favor, reflecting the high regard for excellence and competition in Greek culture. It underscores the values of honor and recognition as pivotal in both public and personal life. Another notable symbol is the owl, commonly linked to Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war. The owl signifies knowledge and vigilance, and its frequent depiction alongside Athena in Greek art illustrates the high esteem for wisdom and strategic thinking in Greek society. Coins from ancient Athens often bore the image of an owl, showcasing the intertwined nature of commerce and intellect in the polis. The significance of these symbols lies not just in their artistic value, but in their capacity to encapsulate and communicate the ideals and beliefs of the time. However, one challenge in interpreting these symbols is the potential for ambiguity. The same symbol might carry different meanings across different contexts or eras, cautioning against oversimplification. Furthermore, while many agree on the broader interpretations of these symbols, scholarly debates persist. Some argue that interpretations often rely on incomplete historical records or are influenced by contemporary biases. The multifaceted nature of symbols implies that their meanings can be as diverse as the cultures and individuals interpreting them. The understanding of common symbols and their meanings also reinforces and deepens knowledge of other components of Greek art. For instance, the narrative depicted in a vase painting or sculpture gains additional layers of meaning when one considers the symbolic elements within it. Recognizing these symbols not only enhances comprehension of individual artworks, but also contributes to a broader awareness of Greek cultural and philosophical paradigms, emphasizing their enduring influence on Western art and thought. Religious and mythological iconography in Greek art is a foundational concept that reveals a wealth of cultural, religious, and social information encoded within artistic symbols and motifs. In essence, religious and mythological iconography refers to the visual language and symbols used by the ancient Greeks to represent their gods, goddesses, mythological events, and sacred rituals. This iconography serves as a rich tapestry, illustrating an intricate belief system and providing insight into the values and philosophies of ancient Greek society. The significance of religious and mythological iconography in Greek art is profound. It provides a window into the soul of a civilization where art, religion, and daily life were intertwined. Understanding these symbols is crucial to decoding Greek art as a whole, revealing not only religious beliefs but also societal norms and historical context. To illustrate, consider the depiction of Athena, the goddess of wisdom, often shown with her iconic symbols, a helmet, spear, and the owl. This iconography not only identifies her presence but also conveys her attributes, such as wisdom and warfare prowess. Another example is the portrayal of Hercules with a lion skin and club, symbolizing his strength and heroic exploits. These images are not just decorative but are imbued with stories and lessons that resonated with ancient Greek audiences. Scholars argue that understanding these symbols is essential for grasping Greek art's deeper meanings. These interpretations offer insights into how the Greeks viewed life, conveyed ideals, and reconciled human experience with divine influence. However, this field faces challenges, particularly in interpretations that may vary due to the loss of context or differing scholarly perspectives. What one historian may see as a symbol of power through the depiction of Zeus holding a thunderbolt, another might interpret as a representation of natural chaos and control. Furthermore, the overlap and adaptation of symbols from Greek art into Roman and later Western art periods showcase the enduring influence of these iconographies. They laid a framework for future mythological and religious art, impacting iconographic interpretation well beyond their time. Controversially, some argue that modern perspectives might distort the original meanings, imposing contemporary values on ancient art. Debates continue over the accuracy of certain interpretations, requiring a balance between informed scholarly analysis and acknowledgement of potential biases. In summary, religious and mythological iconography in Greek art is an essential key to understanding ancient Greek culture. It not only reflects the spiritual and societal values of the time, but also influences our interpretation of art, history, and mythology, connecting deeply with various aspects of the human experience across generations.